Welcome to the Conditional Release Program, a podcast that delves into the netherworld of cults, crims and con artists. We don't like these people and it shows. We believe the best way to expose them is to hold them up to a harsh light, point our index fingers in their general direction and mock them mercilessly, take them down a peg or two until they cease to exist in any other form than the shit on our shoes. I'm Jack the Insider, otherwise known as Peter Hoisted for tax purposes.
And I'm Joel Hill, and this week we are looking at the shit show in Canberra. And it's a shit show for many reasons. First, the freedom movement completely fucks up anything they touch. Shit show. Anything they do just sucks. But also, they don't have anywhere to shit, which has become a little bit of an issue.
Yes, Joel, they have a bit of a poo problem in the camp. The solution? You'll have to listen to find out. It's all fun and games until someone needs to take a dump, and with all the sausages and beer keeping the camp alive, it's not going to be pretty.
No, COVID shits too. Let's not forget that. In the news, we're going to look at the fairly annoying reality of Omicron reinfection. Boo. Joe bloody Rogan again. And a lawsuit against the organiser of the Ottawa Freedom Occupation, which should have a few of the usual suspects in Canberra quietly shitting themselves that maybe it'll happen to them.
And they've got nowhere to shit. What a shame. But we can't talk about shit all day. Well, we could, but we shouldn't. No. Because it's time for the Conditional Release Program's weekly news. And if you're not listening to the Conditional Release Program, and we know that you are, frankly, by the way, you have excellent taste. Well but for all those others who prefer to listen to glint-eyed politicians on the make, Joe Rogan or standard or garden anti-vaxxers, vaccine skeptics, and total fuckwits who assume their immune system becomes an unbreachable wall against infection after they pick up COVID, we are here to break the unhappy news that they are wrong. And total morons like teeny-weeny fond Senator Malcolm Roberts, who recently went down for a couple of weeks with COVID, has now pronounced himself immune from further infection. Omicron is reinfectious. It has been one of those articles of faith as Omicron spread across the nation and the world that once you got it, you had become a sort of medical superhuman and you could happily sit around letting people cough on you while licking the banisters to the platforms at Sydney Central Station. That's good licking.
And a lot of this shit comes from fucking Joe Rogan. And when he had Peter McCulloch on, and this thing that he said, which is so annoying, one and done. He said it over and over again like a little catchphrase, one and done. Yeah. Now he's backflipped on it and said, no, Omicron doesn't do that. But you don't update the episode, do you? You don't change the fact that you've got millions of people exposed to disinformation and no retractions whatsoever. One and done is what everyone's thinking.
That's right. We at the Conditional Release Program have become very concerned about this myth-making. It seems to have seeped into the collective consciousness somehow, possibly driven by the let it rip boys and girls in our own country, Joel. But the data are in and are showing that reinfection from Omicron occurs at a fairly alarming rate. Further, for those who have felt Omicron's icy embrace, the chance of you becoming infected from the emerging Omicron subvariant B2 is pretty bloody high. The first thing to say is that vaccination and boosting won't stop the reinfection, but it will continue to provide solid protection from the worst Omicron B1 and B2. Are they in pyjamas?
Yes, they are, because they're in cold sweats and they need something to keep them warm. But it's 28 degrees. Why do they need to be warm?
Getting a booster is the best way to protect yourself from infection and reinfection. The other salient point to make is if you are unvaccinated, you, A, stand a much higher chance of reinfection, B, stand a much higher chance of becoming seriously ill, C, stand a much higher chance of suffering long-term illness, and D, once you've been affected, you are in Omicron's reach after 3 weeks, but it could be earlier. Oh, happy news. The protection from a natural infection was about 1/3 that obtained through a booster shot, according to a study from the University of Southern California, who said, our results suggest that Omicron-induced immunity may not be sufficient to prevent infection from another, more pathogenic variant, should it emerge in the future, and it already has. Omicron B2. They also highlight the continued importance of vaccine boosters in enhancing immunity, the report reads, as breakthrough infection alone may not be reliable in protecting against repeat infections or future illness from new strains. That's according to the University of Southern California. A UK Office for National Statistics survey of more than 50,000 Brits found people who have had COVID-19 before are far more likely to catch it again with Omicron circulating. The rate of reinfection in the UK was 15 times higher during a time when Omicron was and is dominant compared with the pre-Omicron period. Data from the ONS showed in late January. This points to greater difficulties with Omicron and its subvariants that politicians have not bothered telling us about. This pandemic is far from over, and even if it does become endemic, COVID-19 will still pose a serious health risk, especially for the unvaccinated, for the foreseeable future. Oh, anti-vaxxers, will they ever learn that science snookers them every time? The data also proves that teeny-weeny Malcolm Roberts is wrong yet again. But we already knew that, right? Now, Joel, you've had the lurgy. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about this news?
I feel fucking annoyed. Because, I got my booster probably too close to my infection. But at the same time, like, there is something comforting about having this natural immunity idea. Like, I've got it, right? Like, you shouldn't be able to get it again soon, right? So I'm back at the gym and I'm feeling quite empowered. I might even be fit at some point. And what am I going to do? Am I going to get fucking COVID in a month? No. I have got boosted, and that is great. And this is mostly talking about unvaccinated people who are relying on natural immunity and nothing else. But at the same time, this doesn't bring me any fucking joy, because as much as I love to take the piss out of anti-vaxxers, I've made a bit of a hobby of it. I get no joy from the fact that these people who have got COVID can get it again. I want it to be one and done, as Peter McCulloch says, but it's not the fucking reality. And just because I want something doesn't make it true, which is something the freedom movement needs to get in their fucking heads, that just because you want it doesn't mean it's true. But
or just because you've had it doesn't mean you're not going to have it again.
Which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is.
And in news from a country often mistaken for Australia and with a name suspiciously similar to Australia, perhaps seeking a bit of vicarious Australianness, the Republic of Austria has announced universal vaccine mandates for the adult population. Now, the New York Times reports Austria is the first Western democracy to mandate COVID vaccinations for nearly its entire adult population. There are a couple of exemptions. A once unthinkable move that is being seen as a test case for other countries grappling with pockets of vaccine resistance. The sweeping measure, the New York Times writes, which easily cleared its final parliamentary hurdle on Thursday when it was approved by lawmakers in Austria's upper house, was signed into law. It's Friday, the 4th of February, by President Alexander Van der Bellen of Austria. The requirement will be introduced in phases. First, the government plans to send a letter to all Austrians in the next few weeks, notifying them of the new rules and giving them a month to comply. Exemptions will be available only to pregnant women, people who cannot be vaccinated for medical reasons, and people who have recently recovered from COVID-19. In this first phase, no fines will be imposed for failure to comply. But that changes in mid-March when the police are to start conducting random checks of vaccination status, including during traffic stops, routine traffic stops. People who cannot produce proof of vaccination can be fined up to €600. Fair whack. Those who contest their fines could eventually see them increased to $3,600. So that's a bit of a clever move, isn't it, Joel? You're basically, I'm going to test my fine, and then it jacks up by 6 times, 3,600.
That is a gotcha moment.
The New York Times goes on. In a third phase, for which no starting date has yet been set, the government would create a formal vaccination registry of all residents and automatically assess fines for non-compliance. Ooh, there's some creepy George Orwell stuff there for you, Joel. If the pandemic recedes enough, though, this phase might not be put into effect, officials say.
Well, there you go.
Now, just by way of background, vaccination rates among adults are not low in Austria, but not at Australian rates.
We're very
good. 76% of Austria's adult population have had 2 doses, and this has climbed in recent months with the advent of a lockdown for the unvaccinated only. God, why didn't we think of that here in New South Wales?
Well, we kind of did, but it didn't really work.
No, we didn't really. December and January saw not lockdowns, not full lockdown. This is full lockdown.
Oh, okay. Like, don't leave the house.
You're only allowed out once. Once for an hour a day to go and do your shopping, mask mandates, all that sort of stuff.
Oh,
so
brutal.
Basically,
I don't know.
Was pretty full on. December
That's
and January saw a spike of COVID cases in Austria, with deaths peaking at around 150 per day over the Christmas New Year period. And for those wondering, the Austrian government is a slightly tricky coalition between Conservatives and Greens. Chancellor Karl Nehammer, a Conservative, was sworn in as Chancellor in December last year. The third Chancellor to be sworn in within 3 months. Had a little bit of political uncertainty going on there. 9 of the 17 members of Cabinet are women. There you go. There's your 50 plus. Polls indicate that the majority of Austrians support the universal mandate, but predictably there has been a large group of protesters who have taken to the streets opposing lockdowns and other pandemic restrictions, often clashing with the local pod, the Bundespolizei, with a universal vaccine mandate now in place. Will that militancy now rise?
Yes.
It's also worth remembering that 30% of Austrians own firearms, making it the 14th most armed country on the planet.
Great.
The first thing, Joel, is imagine Austria's policy being laid down in Australia. How would that go down?
Not good.
Also, with high levels of gun ownership, will we see a new level of anti-vaccine militancy in Austria, leading perhaps to anti-vax terrorism in the country?
It seems like a no-brainer.
You've seen in places like France increased militancy along anti-vax lines. You would see that as a potentially dangerous situation. The majority overwhelmingly supports this, but there's a nasty little minority there who are getting more and more militant as we go by.
Think about the traffic stop situation. That is the kind of thing where you've got someone who's packing a fucking gun in their car. I don't know whether they're allowed to be really traveling with guns like that and blah, blah, blah. I don't know the intricacies of the laws, but this is exactly what happens in the States. Traffic stops see cops getting shot because the cop says something the person in the car doesn't like and the person in the car has a gun.
Potentially dangerous situation, I think, is what you're probably looking for there, Joe.
Absolutely. Yeah. And look, I've got a client who's an anti-vaxxer from Austria, which is just bizarrely niche, but he was actually talking about this mandate some time ago when I saw him. And basically, his daughter, who's a massive anti-vaxxer as well, she can't go and stay in her unit there because she's not vaccinated. And he was going on about all these things they can't do because they're not vaccinated. And like, I'm sitting there nodding, but really I just wanted to scream at him, just get vaccinated, you fucking moron. Jesus Christ, put down the sauerkraut and go and get fucking vaccinated. What's wrong with you? For fuck's sake.
Experimental gene. I will not take the experimental gene therapy.
He's a nice guy, but he's a fucking idiot.
Well, look, it is an extreme response to a decline, not a great vaccination level. Obviously, most countries and their public health officials are telling, the government, those who make the decisions, we need really high rates of vaccination in order to move forward.
Yeah, I mean,
and
it's
that's
really
basically
tricky.
it.
Being the government would not be fun.
So that's drawn that kind of policy response.
It's a hard situation to be in when your population won't play ball, but you're responsible for them. You know, it's one of those things where if you were to withdraw health support from them, I think that would actually have more of an effect, saying basically if you're not vaccinated, you don't get free healthcare and you have to pay for it. That's an insane thing that no one should do. But I think this is also insane as well. Mandating fucking vaccination? What are you, crazy? So, I mean, nothing's good.
To be fair, though, the unvaccinated lockdown, or the lockdown for only the unvaccinated, actually drove up their vaccination rates.
Did it?
Quite substantially. They were very, very low in the 60s. So it did improve things over that Christmas period.
It's like in the New Zealand, didn't they do a thing about booze and cigarettes? Like you couldn't get like certain things if you weren't vaccinated?
Oh, Austrian, yeah. Look, Austrians are very sort of, what would you say? It's just not servile. That's not the right term. But Austrians are, they like their fair share of authority. They are, sort of beholden to authority. So look, yes, we'll keep an eye on what's going on in the almost Australian Republic of Austria.
It'll be interesting.
Meanwhile, podcaster with an audience slightly larger than
Slightly.
ours. If the figures are to be believed,
Yeah.
and Joel and I don't accept them,
Nah.
Joe Rogan has apologised over his repeated use of the N-word and associated racism.
Mm-hmm.
And various compilations of Rogan's podcasts have been posted on social media of Rogan using racist slurs. According to technology and media website CNET, over 70 podcasts from Rogan have been removed by Spotify. That's of this morning, the 6th of February, 2022. Rogan apologised on a video on his Insta page in a kind of "I'm sorry if it sounded bad" way.
Yeah.
One podcast episode, which has since been removed, had Rogan referring to a movie set in a black neighbourhood, which he said it was like we were in Planet of the Apes. Ooh. He went on to say, "I did not, nor would I ever, say that black people are apes, but it sure sounded like that."
Mm-hmm.
He said in that Instagram video, which has already racked up 3.6 million views. "It sounded terrible," he acknowledged. "You can have clunky stories about anything, but not about race," unquote. Rogan said his use of the N-word routinely over a 12-year period, highlighted in a recently uncovered compilation video of him using the term, looks horrible even to me.
Yeah,
I never used it to be racist, he said, because I'm not racist.
Mm-hmm.
And just last week, Rogan's podcast broadcaster, Spotify, was pressured into releasing a misinformation policy following a number of Rogan interviews where guests of the vaccine skeptic were permitted to spread misinformation on mRNA vaccines, including a notorious interview where wild claims made by scientist Robert Malone included the fact that 25% of Americans had been subject to deep state hypnosis.
Ugh.
Neil Young famously took his music off the platform, was followed by a small but growing list of other musos, with a delete Spotify push on social media causing concern in the boardroom of the Swedish company. Now, the upshot is really interesting of all of that, Joel, because everyone's been a winner, with a rise of 50% of Young's music downloads across other platforms. Rogan's audience has risen, and Spotify got a lot of brand recognition they might not otherwise have had, particularly around their core business now, which is podcasts.
Yeah.
The company's share price also rallied after a fall 2 weeks ago and is higher than it was prior to the Neil Young exit.
This is why I hate fucking capitalism. I just hate it.
On the racism claim, Rogan said, "I can't go back in time." Oh, see, that's just a lack of imagination. I can't go back in time and change what I said, but I do hope that this can be a teachable moment for anybody that doesn't realise how offensive that word can be coming out of a white person's mouth, in context or out of context. A teachable moment for out-of-context racism, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, who needs to be fucking taught that? Everyone knows that. That's like such fucking common knowledge. I mean, look, I'll give it to Rogan for backpedaling on this one, but I think it's one of those things where he saw the situation for what it was and just went, "Nah, I'm out. Like, I fucked up," and he sort of said it quite okay. Like, his last apology, when it came to the disinformation on the episodes on COVID with Malone and McCulloch, was complete fucking horseshit. He did the same old fucking bullshit, which is just, "Oh, don't listen to me, I'm just a comedian," and then went on to say, "Oh, maybe I should research my guests more," not going to, and, "Oh, maybe I'll have like opposing views," and everyone went, "Oh, that's really good. Oh, he's so balanced." Fuck off. This guy is mate to Alex Jones. He thinks the moon landing was faked. The guy wants to red pill the planet, and he's doing it. And every now and then he gets in trouble, and just like a child making excuses, he goes, "Oh, sorry, Mom." His fingers are crossed behind his back.
Just a comedian.
The guy's a fucking asshole. The reason why he's a conspiracy theorist is not because of some sort of awokenness or any kind of curiosity that he loves to wink on about, "Oh, I smoke weed and I read articles." You know what? You like salesmen. You like salesmen because you're a fucking rube. People come to you with attractive ideas, fantasist bullshit, and you get sucked into it because it sounds way more exciting than reality, and you're a curious guy and a fucking infant brain. So when you get seduced by a salesman, then you want to go on and tell everyone about it. So you have Malone, you have McCulloch, and you have fucking Alex Jones, who say outrageous shit about fucking globalists, vaccines, and all sorts of conspiracies, which you sit there fucking like
Nod your way
nerding out.
through. Nod your way
Exactly,
through.
just
Yeah.
nodding your way through it like a fucking. Look, he's a misogynist. He's proven that time and time again, especially in the very famous primatologist clip where he dismissed a woman with a fucking PhD in primatology because he read something on the internet. And yes, the ape he was talking about, the chimpanzee he called it, doesn't exist. But he comes out and goes, "Oh, I have a vagina." Just implying the only reason why she has any kind of validity is because she's a woman. This guy is a toxic, misogynistic fucking asshole, and the fact that he's racist doesn't surprise you for a goddamn second. He needs to fade into obscurity as soon as possible because his apologies are hollow, and you keep letting him do them. They're meaningless, and they should be seen for what they are.
Not gonna happen, Joel. He's not. That's not gonna happen.
All he does is save face for his career.
The best that we can happen is basically modify his behaviour. He has a huge audience, huger than any other media program anywhere else in the world. So he's not going away. So what we can do is keep the pressure up to him about this misinformation and also his appalling behaviour.
Yeah.
And that seems to be happening on social media with people just going through his podcast, clipping out where he's disgraced himself and popping it up on social media so we can all get to see it and go, what do you say about this, Joe?
But the Malone one's still up.
At least brought forward an apology from him. But now it's over to the land where apologies are mandatory. Canada, where an Ottawan woman has launched an $11 million, that's Australian dollars, class action lawsuit against the organisers of Canada's Truck Freedom Convoy because they caused havoc in the nation's capital. And last week we spoke about the convoy's ugly shenanigans and how they have in turn inspired a wave of fuckwits to do the same, albeit without trucks, converging on Canberra. And we'll take you through that, the local shit show later in the program. Back to Canada, where the lawsuit is a huge blow to the convoy's organisers who raised millions on a GoFundMe, but then had the donations frozen with the crowdfunding platform deciding to refund money to donors and give some to registered charities.
Yeah, well, apparently, according to GoFundMe, it's no longer a protest now, but an occupation. And I mean, look, I don't disagree with that. They're causing chaos and they're acting like deranged, angry children.
One of the reasons was that they've been engaged in criminal activity. That was why GFM was one of the reasons they pulled, a major reason why they pulled the pin. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's a parallel to the Canberra one later as well. We'll talk about that later. But Elon Musk complained about this, whinging that, like, they had double standards because of the BLM protests and the autonomous zones they had and all sorts of blah, blah, blah. But there's also a theory that he donated $42,000 to the GoFundMe himself.
I have seen that. Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not, but it has been.
And also bought the domain name liar.com. I don't think it's true. But apparently the domain liar.com was redirected to Justin Trudeau's Wikipedia page, and someone on Reddit said that they inquired about that domain name recently. It was $500,000 was the price tag. But I mean, it's not even that smart. Oh, like, what a sick burn, Elon. You made a $500,000 investment in making liar.com Justin Trudeau's Wikipedia. That's not smart, clever, or funny, but they're loving it. But mostly what they're doing is they're loving the fact the richest guy in the world is backing them, even though it's probably not even him. Anti-vaxxers fucking lie. So the idea that they've just made this Elon Musk just synthetically is not beyond them in any way, shape, or form. It's all political posturing.
Yeah, so the Truck Freedom Convoy filled the Canadian capital with hundreds of trucks, preventing free movement on the city's roads. Residents were deeply pissed in that gentle Canadian, I'm sorry, but I'm a little bit pissed way. The organiser of the class action lawsuit, Ottawan resident Zexi Lee, filed a lawsuit in the Ontario Superior Court, seeking damages for emotional and mental distress, headaches, sleeping difficulty concentrating, and interference with quiet enjoyment of her home.
Yeah, that's actually a legal term.
Now, the class members are living in daily torment caused by the incessant blasting of truck horns, which would get pretty bloody annoying. That was in the statement of claim.
Yeah.
The suit seeks 9.8 million Canadian bucks, about 11 million Australian, in damages plus costs for participants in the potential class action. The suit names Chris Barber, Benjamin Dichter, Tamara Litch, and Patrick King as organisers of the Freedom Convoy, based on them being listed as such on social media accounts used to organise the event. A further 60 John Does are named, the owners of of trucks that remain parked on Ottawa's streets. Now, the Canadian lawsuit is a delicious response to extremist protests and offers residents of Canberra a possible response to fuckwits taking over their natural space in the last week and the foreseeable future as crowds of annoying self-entitled people gather at Australia's capital to accuse everyone of being pedophiles. I just want to go on with that, Joel. And I did notice one crazed protester in Canberra. I think this is from Live on Tuesday. That's last Tuesday, late January. And there she was. She had some sort of, it looked like she had leprosy. She had a sort of bandage on her hand and she was cackling like a witch about how they were approaching joggers who were jogging around Lake Burley Griffin.
Oh my God.
And the joggers were masked, of course, and saying that basically we're going to frighten their masks off them. Now, if that's not harassment, what is?
Yeah, and this is the problem. Like, I've seen, this is the main thing, which is the hassling people who are wearing masks. And it's this us and them thing they do really well because these are very basic people. So they just need to find some sort of point they can draw on, and then they can use that to hassle people. There were a few girls there at at a traffic light, and they were just like, take off your mask, take off your mask. What are you scared of? Why are you scared? And the girls, they looked terrified because there was a group of men who were fucking threatening them because they were wearing masks. And they're saying, what are you scared of? Mate, it's no longer virus prevention. What it is now is trying to get away from people who are terrifying them. But I mean, realistically, the situation in Canberra and Ottawa are different but the same. You can see the things. We'll go into Canberra later because that's going to be in our sort of longer segment in the middle. But the Freedom Convoy in Ottawa basically have been reported to be threatening people, like just all over the place. Racial taunts, just anarchy, because there's this mob mentality. And it's inevitable from an event like this. You get a few thousand people together who have common interests that are very polemic. Of course you're going to have this sort of thing. You had a soup kitchen for the Shepherds of Good Hope, which is such a cheesy name, but bless their hearts. And they were harassed by protesters demanding meals from them. And these unvaccinated playgrounds. Yeah, exactly. And they were just aggressive. They assaulted a member of the shelter community. And then when a security guard came to their aid, he was threatened and abused with racial slurs. I mean, this is the freedom movement, absolutely just tight. This is exactly what they're like. And this is happening a lot. You can see with this, as you said, with the mask thing, they just love to fuck with people when they're in numbers because they feel strong, they get high on the endorphins, and they're generally awful people. The fucking Ottawa police have set up a hate crime hotline to report incidents. A hate crime hotline. I mean, that just says everything about this freedom movement. So the soup kitchen eventually caved into their demands and fed these angry children. These volunteers weren't even able to park near the place. They had to walk miles to get there. And then after walking miles to get there because these assholes had clogged up the streets in this ridiculous fucking convoy, just total anarchy, then they just get hassled by these people to make them food. Like, just imagine that. Walking for 20 minutes to get there and then being demanded you make the people that just fucked you over a fucking meal. I mean, they're just the worst people on the planet. But what we're looking at here in Canada, which I'm actually quite happy to see, is very strong words from police. There is a January 6th style investigation where participants who basically just running around thinking they're owning the place are actually being logged. They're taking down notes. They said, this is a quote from one of the police. It's, no matter where you live, no matter where your vehicle's registered, if you come here and committed a crime, if you've committed a hate crime, you will be investigated. We will look for you. We will charge you. If necessary, we'll arrest you and we will pursue prosecutions against you, which is so fucking Liam Neeson. I absolutely love it. Ironically, though, nobody in Ottawa has any freedom anymore because they can't move. They can't even leave their fucking house because they'll get fucked with for wearing a mask on the street by angry, weird protesters with a bone to pick. People aren't leaving their homes in fear of being harassed. They've got a lockdown because these people are locking down Ottawa. It's ridiculous. But I hope the Canberra guys have the same thing. I hope the January 6th style investigation happens in Canberra, but we'll see.
Yeah, it certainly is a portent of what could be happening. I mean, look, what's happening in Canberra is the truck convoy with our trucks, of course. There are no trucks.
And there's not $8 million either.
There are a bunch of fucking meatheads who've arrived there who think it's okay to scream fucking pedophile at empty buildings and just carry on like scumbags. I have to wonder about the Epic caravan park. Closed the caravan park because so many people had arrived and had filled the place. And they just opened the gates. They just pushed him out of the way and opened the gates up and just continued to fill the place. I mean, there's all sorts of health issues there. I mean, these people are collaring a fucking in a coffee mug anyway. We'll talk about that later, Joel.
I'll do anything for you. Money. Just tell me what you want me to do.
And today's Conditional Release Program is brought to you today by the Millions March Against Mandatory Vaccinations Convoy to Canberra, otherwise known as the Canberra Truck Convoy with no trucks. And we urge listeners to get along to the truck protest without trucks or any discernible objective or any reasonable point to shout at empty buildings, threaten police and shit in the boot of someone's car because the 2 Portaloos supplied for 1,000 people have backed up again.
Mm-hmm.
If we get 5 million along, and that means we'll need 4 Portaloos by my reckoning, we should be able to install Ricardo Bozzi as our Führer by Tuesday, weather permitting. And if you're one of the lucky 5 million, you could be asked to sit on the people's courts and sentence anyone you don't like to be hanged by the neck until dead from the nearest tree. Lovely
Perfect.
trees in Canberra, beautiful trees.
Yes.
So get stuck in, listeners. Be the first from your neighbourhood to the truck protest without trucks, and you'll be lynching some poor bastard by Wednesday arvo. The Canberra Truck Convoy without trucks. BYO rope, truck optional.
I think one of the first things it says within the Constitution is all laws within.
And with the earnest intellectual meanderings of Thanos Paniides resounding in our ears, it is time again for Which Black Bill Fuckwit Said That? The quiz show that asks, which Black Bill Fuckwit said that? And if you're successful in today's Which Black Bill Fuckwit Said That, Joel, you'll be sent to Canberra to read a word salad of pseudo-constitutional law written by Rodney Cullerton to a crowd who think you might be a pedophile because you look a bit like a pedophile. Not that there is a particular body type for pedophiles, but you probably are a pedophile because everyone is a pedophile before you give the assembled throng a history lesson on Australians in wartime and how we defeated the Japanese at Milne Bay to prevent the experimental gene therapy once and for all, which the mob won't listen to because they think you're a pedophile.
Oh, God. I mean, you're taking the piss, but like it rings too true. It rings just too true.
that's our diggers fought and died for the right for fucking idiots not to be vaccinated.
Yep, that's it. That's all they do.
But all of that very significant appropriation of Australians in wartime history has been appropriated by the fucking freedom movement, who aren't
Genuine
really
torture.
listening because they think everyone's a pedophile.
That's right.
Now, we want to thank listener David for this, who's now become the segment's inaugural life member and chief advisor.
Oh, interesting.
This is, I think, his 3rd or possibly 4th contribution to Black Pill Fuckwit. So good on, David. And here's the quote. Regarding vaccinations, just say no and keep saying no.
Okay.
Was that former Hillsong boss who once said, it was the darkest day of my life because he was my hero and suddenly he was a pedophile. He actually is.
Excellent.
Former Hillsong boss's dad, Brian Houston. Or was it podcast champ with an audience even bigger than ours, if that's to be believed, and frankly, I don't. A man who, we're not spluttering out racist epithets, once said, I'm very flexible. I could suck my own dick if I wanted to.
God, he's an asshole.
Everyone needs a hobby, though. Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Or was it Hollywood superstar, master of the method acting school, hates Mel Gibson, and is routinely sued by film investors for spending money that's not his?
Interesting.
Rob Schneider.
Fuckwit.
Or was it Brazilian president and COVID skeptic whose policies have racked up 631,000 COVID deaths in Brazil and counting? The man who once said, I would be incapable of loving a gay son. I prefer that he would die in an accident.
Oh, my God.
That's Jair Bolsonaro. What a man.
That is such an awful thing to say.
Father of the fucking year.
Jesus Christ. All right, well, look, I'm going to go out on a limb here because this is definitely true to his kind of form. Rob Schneider?
Oh, well done, Joel. That's fantastic work there because there are quite a few anti-vaxxers in that list. I don't think Brian Houston's one. I don't think Houston's necessarily an anti-vaxxer. I'm pretty sure he's not. But
I 50-50'd on Bolsonaro and Schneider.
Yeah, Bolsonaro definitely is. And Joey Reagan would just call him a vaccine skeptic. So there's the 3 you had to choose from. Well, this is excellent news. So you've just turned left onto the Federal Highway and you are steaming towards Canberra right now with with Rod Carleton's proclamation in your hand.
It was so tempting to go down there. I tell you what, it was so tempting to go down there.
God, those people make me so sick. I wouldn't, they're just plague rats too. When we talk about reinfections and all that sort of stuff, you're going to see, this is what you're going to see there, and we'll talk about this later, but you're going to see a higher instance of COVID infections in Canberra as a result of these people. Anyway.
They don't get tested, though. They don't get tested.
Yeah. Some of them are going to get hospitalised, eh? Quote 2, the COVID-19 vaccine is not really a vaccine, but an experimental shot that is dangerous.
Ooh.
Was that prominent Christian evangelist, COVID denier and anti-vaxxer who died from COVID-19 complications aged 55, Pastor Paul Garrett?
Oh.
Or was that prominent Christian evangelist, COVID denier and anti-vaxxer who died from COVID-19 complications aged 64, Pastor Marcus Lamb?
I see where this is going.
Or was that prominent Christian evangelist, COVID denier and anti-vaxxer who died from COVID-19 complications aged 70, Pastor Roger Dale Moon? God, he must have wanted to call his followers Moonies. He would have loved to, wouldn't he? It was already taken. Anyway, or was it prominent Christian evangelist, COVID denier and anti-vaxxer who died from COVID-19 complications, age 66, Pastor Landon Spradlin? What a fucking name that is.
Yeah,
Mr.
I know. Americans have cooked names.
Landon Spradlin.
I'm going to go with Marcus Lamb.
Yay, Robert Joel! Excellent work. Yeah, they were all COVID.
He was the only name I knew.
And they were.
I didn't know the rest of them.
Yeah, look, I went searching for Christian evangelists who had died and who were COVID deniers and anti-vaxxers who died from COVID-19 complications. And there are a lot of them. There were a lot of them.
Yes,
you don't have to spend a lot of time looking. So definitely Paul Garrett, Marcus Lamb, Roger Dale Moon, and Landon Spradlin all died from COVID-19. But it was only Marcus Lamb who said the COVID-19 vaccine is not really a vaccine, but an experimental shot that is dangerous. And if he had
so is COVID. COVID is dangerous too.
If he had have taken that experimental shot that is dangerous, he would be alive today. Oh, he had diabetes, by the way, Marcus Lamb.
Yeah, but that's okay. Diabetic people live long lives without COVID.
He never acknowledged it in any of his sermons or anything like that, but he was, in fact, suffering from diabetes and therefore high risk for COVID infection. For serious COVID infection.
Yeah, I've got a mate who's diabetic, and he is very good about not getting COVID. And he gets a jab, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly right. Get vaccinated, get boosted, you should be okay. So, question 3, as you can see, you can now see the big radio tower on the mountain outside Canberra. You're well on your way there now. You're heading down into the CBD. And on your way.
Well, I now have to find a park. This is actually a bit of a poison chalice. Because where am I going to park?
Yeah, so you're headed. Look, someone will drop you off. You don't have to worry about it. Get your car towed. Just
free parking.
Just park somewhere in Parliamentary Circle. You're on your way to address the crowd with a Rod Carleton proclamation. Here's the third quote.
Yes.
As our world changes, so must you. As others seek to take control, so must you fight to take it back. It is up to you to plan your direction with the gifts you have been blessed with, have been burdened with, or have struggled for. There's a fucking word salad and a half, isn't it? Was that Australia's anti-vax Where's Waldo? Where is she? Is she quietly headed for the cover of Pregnant Bride Monthly, Monica Smith?
God.
Or was it got the camo on and ready to go? All he needs is 4,999,999 people to join him in Canberra, and he'll be Australia's Führer, Ricardo Bozzi.
Piece of piss. 5 million people, get it done.
Or was it Georgia Congresswoman who opposes Spanish being spoken in American high schools because, and I quote, if English was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for us. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
If that is actually a true quote, I just don't know what to do anymore. That is just so fucked.
That was good enough. English was good enough for Jesus.
Idiot.
The language English didn't actually exist. Aramaic, if you look, if she's up for supporting Aramaic being spoken in American high schools, I'll be all over it.
Don't provoke her. She will do this. Don't push that button.
Or ancient Greek. Formerly, that would be the Aramaic was the sort of street corner language, and one wrote in ancient Greek or Latin. But you wouldn't do Latin in Palestine because by this stage the Romans had taken over the place, and you would be a sort of a serf to the conquerors.
Sounds problematic.
So, was it Marjorie Taylor Greene who thinks English, think Jesus spoke in fucking clipped English? Or was it Sydney, a protest organiser, who revealed all his friends don't talk to him anymore, even the imaginary ones, which turns out to be all of them, Romeo Georges?
I tell you what, this is a really hard one, but I reckon it's Bosie because it's word salad.
Hooray!
Yes! On fire!
Unroll that scrolled parchment and start babbling in pseudo-legal speak to a crowd of fuck-knuckles who don't know what you're talking about and think you're probably a pedophile.
It really is. It's the kind of gibberish that if one of our leaders said something like that, I wouldn't know what it meant, but I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, look, and just listen to the word salad from Bozzy too. It is up to you to plan your direction with the gifts you have been blessed with. So there's that Christian element.
Yeah.
Have been burdened with or have struggled for. So
what?
Or and.
What?
I mean,
what?
just
what?
You know, so if you've been blessed with stuff, that's great. Or maybe you've been burdened with talents, or you've struggled for. You know,
it's kind of like drunk philosophy, like someone who's just downed a bottle of scotch. I tell you what, man. It's like, it's crazy. I mean, like the gifts you've been blessed with, but like could also be like a burden. Mate. Like
you got to fight back, mate. As the world changes, you so much
gibberish.
So it's just absolute gibberish. And I did notice it was on the bestseller list from, I think it's called Wiltshire Publishing in Australia.
Oh,
Jesus
God.
Christ, they get some fucking rubbish on that list. Anyway, and that's top of the list, by the way. Now, we asked listeners to send us an email if they've come across something really, really stupid said by Black Bill Fuckwits. We want your input, listeners. If you've recently come across something posted that is so odd, so bizarre, that it can only be appreciated by the criminally stupid, drop us a line.
We'll send you a stubby holder and some assorted like stickers and shit. If you make our lives easier, and send Jack a quote we can use on the show.
And we remind listeners the Conditional Release Program stubby holder is the only stubby holder clinically proven to keep drinks cold. And furthermore, the Conditional Release Program can be used as a portaloo at a pinch. When you're at a protest and the lines at the temporary shit house are too long, or they are both clogged with human excrement, at least we hope it's human, simply point the Conditional Release Program stubby holder in the general direction of your back passage and let rip. Possibly best not to whack your stubby in it afterwards, but we're not going to tell you what to do.
No, you got freedom. So how can I come back from that? We asked listeners to drop us a line if they want to contribute to which Black Pill Fuckwit said that. Mark to the attention of Jack, bury the quote because otherwise I'll see it. We can both see the email address, which is the Conditional Release Program @gmail.com. Bury the quote.
And now we bring you we were going to call it the deeper dive, but we're not going to call it the deeper dive. We used to have a deeper dive, and we want to have a deeper dive, but we don't want to call it the deeper dive.
No, it's a shit
And
day.
it now will replace our anti-vax update, and it is our expanded view on what's been going on this week. And this week, of course, it's the Canberra Truck Convoy without trucks.
So the Cookers have remained in Canberra, essentially occupying the area and calling it their own because they literally call it their own. A part of their whole sob-sit beliefs is that they own the place, and it's something to do with titles and deeds and jurisdiction, but they love yelling out, show us the titles and deeds! Where are the titles and deeds? Titles and deeds! It's been painful for some time. They were doing it at the old Parliament House for ages. It's so fucking torturous. So the Cookers showed up to a fairly tame police response, and as we reported last week, it was said there will be 50,000 trucks in attendance and a large amount of money behind them.
Yeah,
with this GoFundMe that started by Ironbark Thunderbolt to get that sort of camp going.
Great
You'd
name.
think with a couple of $100,000, they'd have a pretty sweet camp going. Well, yeah, that's how it started. How's it going? No trucks. And Ironbark Thunderbolt, a.k.a. James Greer, got done for gun possession. That's right. The idiot brought a fucking gun with him.
Yeah, look, the gun was a .22 caliber pea shooter from
It was pretty small.
1800s. It had been modified. It's sawn off barrel, which is a bit of a no-no. He claims it's licensed in the UA, but he's a soft set, so...
There's no way. There's no way he has a license for it.
It's going to be interesting. But look, who brings a fucking gun to a peaceful protest?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out a fucking soft-sit doomsday prepper does. Fucking idiot. His truck was replete with defects and served a bunch of notices, and they had to get a monstrous truck. To
To
remove really the only truck that was there.
Yeah, exactly, It's like when you go to Amsterdam or something and you buy like a bunch of pingers and there's one left in your wallet, and you go to England and you come back out and you look in your coin thing and you're like, oh fuck, there's a pinger in here. Oh my god, I just flew to another country with a pinger. I reckon it was that. I reckon the guy just has this fucking 22 in his car that he almost forgot about, and then he's like, oh whoops. But you know what? Don't forget about guns.
Oh yeah, look, he'd carry it around like luggage, but look, he got bail. He was given bail the following day. There was no magistrate to hear his bail on the Friday night. So on Saturday,
he did spend a night.
Old magistrate had to struggle forward and give him bail, and he was given bail because he had no prize. But still,
apparently so. Yeah,
I don't know. Seems like a pretty dangerous sort of character. But anyway,
it's just bizarre.
That's what the courts did.
Bail left, right, and centre. You got to respect judges begrudgingly. So. From Monday to Friday, the cookers just basically caused shit in the area. They're illegally camped on the grounds of Parliament. They got really upset when the police told them to move. They yelled that same shit about no jurisdiction. Titles things. Blah, blah, blah. But come on, you can't just decide that Parliament's your camping ground. I'd love to live on those grass for nothing.
You really can't. And,
it's insane.
But what really sort of fries their brains, particularly the soft sits amongst them, is when they're accused of trespass.
Yeah, that does.
It just throws all of their fucking mangled
can't be trespassing.
Legal beliefs.
We own it
out the window. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm a free man. I can go camp wherever I fucking like.
They reckon they own it because the deeds and titles. And it's like, no, you don't own. People go to fucking caravan parks. They don't just plonk themselves anywhere.
Can I also just remind, when we talk about deeds and titles, it's very clear that they seem to think that Canberra and the old Parliament in particular was sort of knocked up in 1901. And of course, it wasn't. It was, I think, the building was completed in 1924. Prior to that, the federal Parliament sat in Melbourne, the Parliament in Melbourne, while the Victorian Parliament sat at the exhibition building. So that's the first thing. The other thing is that the New South Wales government granted title of Crown land for the ACT. And these things are fucking set in stone.
Yeah, they really are.
You can find the deeds and titles that all come back to, God, I think it was just post World War One when this land was ceded. It's a very interesting story how Canberra was settled and how it could have been a whole bunch of other places that eventually
they negotiated.
Canberra was settled on. In Ngunnawal language means a place between the crevice between two breasts in their language, and that was taken from the sort of metaphorical of the two mountains either side of Canberra. So there you go.
How interesting! I had no idea about that.
Canberra history. I know a lot more than these fucking soft-sit fuckos to do for a start. Carry on, Joel.
So look, as you imagine, the first people to arrive were the real militant types who were really in it from the start, with everyone sort of running around screaming, pedophile, drugs and racket, pedophiles. They're fucking usual. But the camp was this ill-thought-out and underfunded exercise, which I can only assume, and I'm giving the benefit of the doubt here, was due to the fact that Ironbark had over $100,000 to fund the camp.
A lot of money.
You would think they'd be eating and shitting like kings.
There were other GoFundMes that people said, "Oh, can you pay for our petrol and for our food on the way up?" I mean,
El Salzone did one. Hers got deleted.
Cafe Lockdown.
That was just for him though.
It's $3,000. $3,000 he raised for his petrol and his food on the way up.
And he's sleeping and eating fucking well, I'm sure. The guy's a fucking grifter from miles out. But the thing is, right, so here's the situation. But there's
$100,000 gone to Ironbark. Well, it didn't go to Ironbark, but it was raised for Ironbark.
There was like 185, I think. But it was there. So, of course, you would think that he's going to turn up and be like, here's a toilet, everyone gets a toilet.
Showers, let's get some running water in here,
Catering is being organised. No. Ironbark was grifting hard, and it's not the fact that GoFundMe paused him because they're fucking corrupt, left-leaning blah-blahs. He withdrew $14,000 to start with, and no one saw a fucking cent outside of his fucking dealer. And you know what happened after that? Fuck all. That's why GoFundMe froze the account, because he's clearly a grifter who was trying to take all the money for himself. There was no system to distribute it, and what should have been a very well-funded camp turned out to be a fucking joke.
He still had the temerity to run around shaking a bucket to squeeze a few lazy pineapples out of those in attendance.
These are the people he was meant to give money to.
Well, a crowd of 1,500 people shared 2 portaloos. I mean, it is a cholera outbreak waiting to fucking happen.
It really is. And the thing is, this guy is still revered as some sort of hero of the movement. Despite the fact that he ripped everyone off, brought a gun which made them all look like cunts, and he spent apparently the entire time fucked out of his mind next to his truck.
Rattling the tin.
So,
no. Guys,
you just
give until it hurts even more.
What can you possibly do to fuck up with these people? So, look, this is the thing. And you had, as you say, the police were removing toilets. There was very few toilets. And apparently, as you say, there was 1,500 people sharing 2 portaloos. But then the police eventually just moved the camp on. They said, look, this is enough. Get the fuck out of here.
Yep.
They towed cars. People just refused to move or weren't there at the time.
I believe they towed 4 cars and the truck, so it wasn't a lot.
It wasn't a lot,
and they gave the owners every opportunity. It was only those 4 who said, "I'm not going to move."
Yeah, exactly, because they're fucking children.
They were the only 4 cars that were towed away,
and the towing company
plus Thunderbolt's truck,
which was full of defects,
and a shooter.
So the towing company, All States Towing, he was taken away, so he couldn't drive it. Right, he was taken away in a divvy van because he had a gun. So the company, All States Towing, was recorded by Peter Little on his live, that creepy little hobbit-looking ex-lawyer who's really popular in the movement for God knows what reason. And of course, the sheep followed his orders when he said, here's a phone number, go and harass them. So they harassed the towing company just for doing their fucking jobs. The owner said they'd been bombarded by calls. So basically, they had the official from the actual company was, we moved cars about 100 meters down the road to a legal parking spot and off the grass.
Yes, that's all they did.
We did not charge any owners of the vehicles to move these cars to legal parking spots. So they just got free parking. And as far as we are aware, all the vehicles are accessible to the owners. They have not been impounded. They did nothing wrong. If anything, they did too little. They should have charged them. Fuck these guys. I mean, you don't get to be a petulant child and get away with it. So this is what happened. The Freedom Idiots also harassed Young All States Towing, which is based in Victoria.
Looks about the same.
Exactly. It's similar. Fucking why not? This is a quote from the Facebook page.
I think it's in Albury Wodonga, isn't it? It's one of the border towns.
Basically, this is what the guy said. Okay, I've had enough of the abuse and death threats. This has nothing to do with our towing company. I am now reporting this to police as it's getting out of control. Do your research, people, before victimizing someone.
Yeah. If you're going to threaten someone,
do your research.
Make sure you get the right person.
Yeah.
Can you get at least the right person?
I love the do your research. That was a real good, little elbow in the guts on that one. It's like, come on, do your research. Don't hassle me. Do your research.
Yeah, do your own research, people.
Yeah.
Well, the cops had a few scuffles, removing protesters from the grounds, but generally used kid gloves on them, and as per usual, pandering to them by giving them a list of places they could camp out. One place, the exhibition park in Canberra, otherwise known as Epic, was the place to go. They filled the place up pretty quickly, and it became a serious problem as traffic needed to be handled, and eventually the gates closed.
Yeah.
And Cookers harassed the traffic controllers, claiming they should do it themselves, which led to complete chaos. When the park was full, the gates were closed by the management. Cookers took it upon themselves to open the gates and just let everyone in. Freedom!
Yeah, freedom. Just so much freedom. But the thing is that they were closed for a reason.
That's right, for health reasons.
Who's paying their dues here? Is anyone actually paying for their fucking plots? Bet they're not.
Oh, you got to wonder about all that too.
It's ridiculous.
Just how much money went through the tills and
not much.
Yeah,
not much.
This has just been a complete bludge on the public purse, the whole thing.
And that's the thing. These guys are all these fucking libertarians, right? But at the end of the day, the thing with the Epic place is that apparently it's run by government. So it has staff but not owners. So you got these staff members there who are running a government-run facility who are probably just putting their hands up and saying, fuck this. Now, in the most ironic form form of unintentional communism. They've gone ahead and taken a government-run facility and used it for free in order to basically enjoy the facilities. That's communism, you fucking morons. You whinge about communism for days, but a government-run facility being used for free for the benefit of the public is communism. And you know what? I fully embrace this, but you just keep on slagging it off. Well, you know what? Maybe you've enjoyed a taste of communism and maybe you can tell your friends. For fuck's sake.
Back at the parliamentary campsite, where there were just 2 toilets for 12 to 1,500 people, one of them just stopped flushing under the sheer weight of human defecation, just by sheer turds per square inch. It was reported on social media that since one of the toilets stopped flushing, they were sort of sending out sort of calls for help, but they had allocated a toilet car, a shit car, where people would just go along and shit in the boot. I'm not actually sure how this worked. You know, it was there, how to go, eeny, meeny, miny, you're the shit car. Everyone's just going to go and drop a turd in your boot.
That's
were they
really,
using
really
plastic
sad.
bags? Did they get those little dog scoopers? What were they doing? Honestly,
It's so hard to
brings up
say.
So many more questions than answers. And of course, when they got back to, and when they got to places like Epic, which was savagely overcrowded, which would normally have a sufficient number of toilets, showers, etc., for the number of people that could enter that caravan park. Basically, it was overwhelmed with people, so these people had more toilet issues. I mean, we are really talking cholera outbreak here, you know. These people are that fucking stupid that they have failed to understand the basic precepts of 1850s medical science. They are headed one way to a cholera epidemic.
Are you surprised? Really?
Oh, these people are so fucking stupid. Anyway, look, it was just incredible. They contacted Orange Sky, which is a homeless charity which provides services, laundry services to homeless people.
Yeah.
You know, and the Sikh volunteers, the wonderful Sikh volunteers in Melbourne who get around the place and offer people who are in real distress food. But these people aren't foodless. These people aren't homeless.
They're fine.
They just decided they were just going to launch themselves on charities. God, I think, as far as we know, Orange Sky didn't turn up, nor should they have, by the way. But these were people going, well, let's just get something for free.
But, like, you can't imagine a situation where they're cheerleading for bigots and then asking Sikhs to come and help them when they're walking into a pit of One Nation supporters, racist, and fucking actual Nazis. Like, are you serious? Do you think the Proud Boys there going, oh, yeah, fucking love the Sikhs? No.
Yeah, I love Sikhs.
No.
Hey, I tell you what, that Sikhism's got a lot going for it as a religion. I'm thinking about giving it a crack.
Only good when they bring some food. I mean, like, it just that sort of just using.
Yeah, just
entitlement.
The whole thing just said, bloated entitlement.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
that we
pathetic.
can just hit up everyone for a bit of free stuff.
Yeah.
And they run this on the basis, we haven't got jobs. I tell you what, this is an employee's paradise at the moment.
Yeah.
Go and fucking get one.
Exactly.
Before you go to Canberra, you dopey cunts.
Oh, so painful.
Anyway, and they pissed up at night, and then you got to just say, look, what are they pissing behind a tree
they're
for
pissing
freedom?
everywhere. They're pissing everywhere, and
They
that's
just be piss everywhere.
It's
These
just-
people are fucking disgusting.
it's just disgusting.
human
The
beings.
Epic place is going to have to be shut down for a fortnight for cleaning because how else are they going to fucking do this? Like the entire place is full of COVID piss and shit. You just can't manage that.
There's a gay march on there today too. So
They would have cancelled that. for sure.
and this is Sunday when we're recording, the 6th of February. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and whether there'll be other clashes there. Because one thing I would say about cookers is they don't get on with gay people. That they're probably the bearers of some of the worst prejudices you can imagine.
There's some fundamental vibes.
There is a legitimate single issue protest in Canberra today. From
I hope they cancel it.
same-sex people.
Because it's not going to go well. It won't go well. These people are fundies. They're fucking terrifying.
I mean, you'd like to think, but why should they? I mean, why should they have to?
Well, I mean, look, it's...
this thing was organised. They'd done all the paperwork. They'd put through petitions. They'd sought and obtained authorisation from local government. This mob just fucking turn up.
Yeah, but what do you expect? Freedom cookers ruin everything. This is what they do. So basically, Saturday was the big day where they were going to get all the speeches going and generally do the protest thing. And that's what it was. It was just another protest with lots of walking. But the cracks formed in the groups when Harrison McLean, who was aligned with the UAP, turned up and started to call the shots. He was instrumental in organising people to get there. And to be fair, made route maps and stuff like that. He was LARPing so hard on the Zello, CB chat group, trying to sound like a truck from the 1980s, like, breaker, breaker, 1, 2, 3. Like, shut up, Harrison.
We got us a convoy.
Yeah, I mean, just shut the fuck up. You're not a trucker. But of course, he just sounded like that weirdo with the truck fetish. It's just like that.
Didn't go over very well. He did get a little bit of a choke there, Harrison, when he was fronted by fronted by one of the protesters who looked at him and went, "Who's this guy with the fucking haircut?"
Yeah, there's big cracks forming. There's big cracks.
Yeah.
It's not looking good. And speaking of LARPing, which is live action role playing for those playing at home.
Oh, yes.
We had a whole bunch of people playing dress ups. We always do. We had Ricardo Bosi in his full military fatigues, looking a lot more than Saddam Hussein than he may have intended.
Oh, in the camo. He was in the camo. He does look a little bit like Saddam Hussein.
So much. Or Gaddafi, maybe. But he looks like one of those weird Middle Eastern dictators. He just does. Graham Hood, the former Qantas pilot, was there with his Qantas shirt covered in marker pen, which is a throwback to the former Reclaim the Line protest, where he just chased clout in the shadow of organiser Mac and his weird teacher protest movement thing. Then we had John Larder, who came in his paramedic hat, hoping that people would notice him. Look, I'm a paramedic, look at my hat. But he didn't get enough attention from that. So he went to the car and got a stethoscope and put it around his fucking neck. He wore a fucking stethoscope around to get attention. This man is running for Parliament. I mean, he's like Matt Canavan. Oh, I'll just put some coal dust on my face and people will think I'm a coal miner.
Matty Canavan's got him covered there. Matty Canavan would have already said, "Look, just give me the stethoscope." He wouldn't have had to go back to the car to get it.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Matty Canavan understands LARPing.
He
John
does.
Larder is a fucking... He's a
pale imitation of Canavan.
Yeah, fucking... He's just a cheap image.
And that's why he'll never get into Parliament. So Bosie was big on the day with a lot of speeches and rabble-rousing, the usual stuff if you know him. His speech was that sort of inflammatory language claiming that everyone's a pedophile and we're brought to justice. And the crowd was chanting, "Hang them all." Because if you know Bosie, he's got an extensive hanging platform. He wants to hang a lot of people. Journalists.
He's actually... We're not quite first cab. I think we're about second cab off the rank.
Yeah, I think doctors and nurses come first. I think politicians are probably the first ones.
Politicians definitely first.
Yeah.
They'll be dragged out of
Except for Craig Kelly.
Dragged out of the Parliament on Tuesday.
Actually, to be honest, probably Craig Kelly go first because he's competition. Style.
Well,
but, look,
you'd use him as ballast. You'd use him as a counterweight.
That's
what I'd do.
That's so rude.
But if you're going to hang people, you need a counterweight. And Craig, well, he's got the build for it.
He's a big boy. So look, this is the highlight of his bullshit ramble, which is that he claimed that people are going to be sent to vac centres with gas chambers to be killed en masse. I mean, there's no basis to this, at all.
He actually said this about the quarantine facilities. The quarantine facilities just outside Darwin, for example, the one that's being built in Queensland,
it's
the one
gas
that's, in fact, I think there are two, that they were hooked up to for gas tubes, that they were actually going mass extermination centres, that these were, in fact, concentration camps.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And Bosie also claimed that if they can get 5 million people by Tuesday, it's a bit of a tall order, He said, look, we haven't got enough. Not enough here, but we need 5 million people. Why 5 million, by the way? We've got 26 million people in Australia. Let's say 1/5 is a majority. Anyway, 5 million people. If you can get down here by Tuesday, say around lunchtime, we should be able to just march into the Parliament, drag people out, start the hanging, the people's courts, and then the hanging. And I'll be the Führer.
Don't worry.
I'll be the Führer of Australia. That is his plan, by the way.
That is his plan. That is
he
his fucking plan.
is Australia's Hitler.
It's fucking
I'll
insane.
make that absolutely clear.
Yeah, it's completely insane.
He is Australia's Hitler. He should be behind bars. He should be in Supermax today.
He's a domestic terrorist, and he has a following that will actually die for him. So just put that in the bank.
Yeah, put that in the bank. We've got some other loonies, though, that we want to go through, Joel.
Yes, we do. Graham Hood, or Hoodie as he likes to be called, did some very creepy religious preaching, making bizarre claims laced with God and Satan, generally playing a cult leader role. I mean, this is born for it. If anything, Hoodie was the star of the day, bizarrely, because Bosie's always the star of the day. But people really got into the evangelical vibe that he's bringing along, which I think is also a bit of a worry because Bosie's ideas are absolutely unsustainable and insane, whereas Hoodie making people into weird cult members, that's pretty plausible. To give you an idea about how desperate Hoodie is for this attention, this moment of sunlight in his twilight years, is that he has a melanoma surgery scheduled for the weekend and he postponed it to stay at the rally. He could die as a result of that decision.
Yeah, good
Melanoma
idea.
kills you.
Hoodie. He also, once he got the microphone, it was really hard to get to take it off him. He just went on and on and on. He started lecturing the people on what it was like, to be a desert rat in Tobruk, as if he was fucking there, and how we had, drawn the line and destroyed Hitler's desert core there and then, and turned the tide on the war, which is not even true. I mean, basically, yes, there was some very, very proud and wonderful fighters in the desert rats, or the rats of Tobruk, but basically that battle went on because the second AIF was actually withdrawn at the demand of our Prime Minister, John Curtin, and transported back to Australia because we had significant concerns because the Japanese had just jumped onto New Guinea.
Yeah.
And so the British and the New Zealanders went on to continue to fight the German Desert Corps all the way to Palestine, by the way. Something that Hoodie doesn't seem to know too much about. But yeah, there he was, just casually appropriating Anzacs for his fucking bizarre fucking view of the world.
That's the kind of guy he is. Joel Jamal, which is another Joel with giant eyebrows. There's Gilmore and Jamal, and both of them
they're weird.
Big eyebrows. I wish I had such eyebrows, but I don't. I have the same name.
No. You don't want that. No. It's you can be sort of misinterpreted as being angry with people without actually being angry with people.
Bert and Ernie
when you've
style.
got eyebrows like that.
So he was calling shots on the back end. Joel Jamal is one of those players. He's a kid, but he's an operator. He's got clear intentions to make a career out of this. He's going to be pissing people off and then taking their money. It's clear grift.
He thinks he's the puppet master.
He fucking does. And he's not exactly wrong. He's the Australian arm of Turning Point America, which is now, or Turning Point USA, which is now Turning Point Australia. He doesn't appear to have a lot of traction in the movement insofar as social media presence and stuff, but he does on the ground. People listen to him, and he's got this weird, creepy little Christian politician stick, but he seems to command a weird level of authority when he's there. He tells people what to do, and they fucking do it. I mean, they are natural sheep, right?
There's vast splits between these people. I mean, let's say between Kelly and Bozzy, for example. But Joel's able to sort of put the pair of them in the same room without too much going wrong.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird power he's got. He has a diplomacy about him, but he's a diplomacy within the realm of cookers. And he can really, he's a scary one. We keep an eye on him, to be honest. The Peacemakers were there in their little yellow vest doing their usual Christian militia thing where they, can punch cops for free or something. That's their thing. If they don't have an ASIO file, I don't know what you have to do to get an ASIO file. But, come on, guys. Are we not an outlaw organization yet?
You'd like to think ASIO were peering at the building with the binoculars.
You would think so.
On Saturday, at least, because they're probably about a third of that crowd deserve to have their own ASIO file.
Oh, they're problematic at fucking best. So the Aussie Cossack was headed out of Canberra, and there were rumours that he was actually turned away by the AFP around the border. That doesn't make any sense to me at all.
No, I don't.
But I didn't see him there.
See that.
I don't remember him, and he's not quiet, so I don't really see him. Maybe he was there, I don't know, big place. But
I, to be honest, I didn't see him at all. No,
but he did take a big group photo on the way down with apparently a few well-known nationalists heading down there with him, just to casually help the acceleration towards violence and civil war, because that's what they do. Not great.
It's a natural state of play.
And on the morning of the big day on Saturday, Michael Gray Griffith of Cafe Lockout was there spreading the rumour that the army was going to be there shooting them on the day.
Snipers on the buildings.
Just legit just shooting them. The army was just going to turn up and put holes through these people.
Shooting people.
Yeah, because that's exactly how the fucking world works. He spent a lot of time making a lot of content, talking with other cookers, including John Larder, about how using the army on Australian civilians was bad. Oh, it is bad, isn't it? It's just not happening, you fucking liar. And then essentially speaking on behalf of the Anzacs, as they love to do, about how they fought for freedom. But there's no plan for the army to come in. He just made it up. He just made it up and started talking about it. So everyone around the camp got really
Complete
pissed off.
Fabrication.
You've got to make people angry. Otherwise, what's the point? There's this peaceful protest movement shtick they love to talk about, but the entire thing is underpinned by being pissed off. So you got to make up stories to make everyone angry. And this is the thing about, like, you see the disinformation on the internet, you think, oh, it's reserved to the internet. But if you take disinformation people into areas, they will play out disinformation in real life and just piss people off because this is what they do.
Yeah, I know. And look, going to Canberra too, and the Australian Capital Territory must have kind of freaked a few brains out too, because it's actually jurisdictionally awkward. It's not a state; it's actually a territory. So therefore, it's sort of halfway between federal oversight and having its own territory government. And so that's, there are sort of different things about this. When we talk about the army, I mean, look, yes, there's a Department of Defence right in Canberra, a great big stonking building where you could put a few snipers on the roof if you wanted to. But there's not a lot of real army in the ACT. They're at Holsworthy, they're at Puckapunyal, they're up in Toowoomba and spread out around the world, spread around the country where they actually belong. Not many in Canberra. So, yeah, a bit of nonsense there. I'm going to say Michael Gray-Griffith from Cafe Lockdown is becoming really one of the most annoying people in that movement.
Oh, no question.
He really is just a straight-out liar and fabricator.
He is, just
They
a
also
liar.
They also lied that a number of ACT police, and ACT police are separate and sort of somehow joined with the Australian Federal Police, but ACT policing is a sort of separate unit, separate branch. Let me call them that. And they set out this lie that the police officers had gone on stress leave because they didn't want to basically to perform their duties with these cookers. And it's just, that was another thing. Completely made up. Lada was spreading it around and being asked about it. And really, Lada's become an extraordinarily cooked human being too.
He's a terrible person. And he's been a terrible person for a long time. When I finally do the lawsuits episode, I will read out some of the things the judge said about Lada. Not nice. Not nice at all. Just, he's a shit person.
Those. Looking forward to that.
It'll happen eventually. It's such a big job. Anyway, look, the Saturday mostly consisted of yet another walk to nowhere. We had Joel Gilmore streaming the event with his eyebrows intact and a bottle of water. He kept on talking about his bottle of water. I've had half it now. Oh, I've only got like a third.
His mum was there. His mum
did turn up. Yeah. So, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. The kids are fucking half at the best of times, but they love him because he's cute. He's like a twink to them. It's really fucking sad. I did not watch a lot of it. I tuned in every now and then.
He's the cooker's twink.
He is. He really fucking is. Because watching people walk is really boring, so I just didn't really get too into it. But nothing seemed to kick off. The only thing that really makes these protests watchable is when they clash with cops and pepper spray comes out. But they just made a pest of themselves, as they all want to do. They love doing that. But as usual, the numbers were the strongly contested fact. This is the big thing. The Great Australian Party with Rod Cullerton claims 100,000 plus in attendance. Brave. Lynn Bennett said that 1.7 million were on their way. I guess they were held up in traffic somewhere.
Well, that still doesn't make 5 million.
No, it does. No, but I think 1.7 would have been a good showing though. I think that would have been pretty decent. Yeah, I'd be convinced.
Didn't get that sense.
I'd start worrying.
Canberra's a city with about 420,000 people. Now, if you put 1.7 million people on top of that, on their way, not quite there yet, but let's say they'll be there Monday, that's going to be a bit noticeable. There's going to be a little bit of overcrowding. Going to need a lot of portaloos too. More than two.
Not enough toilets. Just not enough toilets. There's just not enough toilets. They just don't think these things through.
Stop shitting on our capital, you fucking animals.
Yeah, exactly. The ACT police estimated more than 2,000 people, which is pretty vague, but it lines up with the numbers with the campsites with 1,500 in one, maybe 500 in the other, a few fucking weirdos at QuestionCon looking at kids as they walk in the building, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, those numbers make sense to me. So we had around about 1,500. That's a rough estimate.
Which is not bad.
In the camp from Monday onwards, with a few people arriving. I heard another 200 cars came from, another 60 cars came from Victoria. It might have been more, but 60 cars, let's say 200 people. It's not all, I'm going to say 2,000 to 3,000 people, and I don't think I'll be that far away.
Yeah. Look, that's the general sort of thing. I think that's a lot because, as usual, the cookers get really pissy unless it's like a million.
It might be a lot,
That's
but
a
it's
lot
not.
of
It's
people.
not enough to sweep into the parliament and start dragging people out and hanging them, and then installing a cabinet council led by fucking Ricardo Bozzi. Not quite enough. Not quite enough, people. In fact, the way you do this, Ricardo, you fucking Hitlerian fucking psycho, is you put your name on a fucking ballot, and like you did in a Queensland state election and got less than 3% of the vote. But you put your name on a ballot, and if you're lucky enough to be elected, and if you're able to form a majority of other like-minded people, that's how you form government in this country.
Exactly. And one thing is, I'm just going to inject into this as a last-minute thing. My good friend Simon Hillsjohns just sent me a message on Facebook saying that he's at Ourimbah and there is more convoy coming. Lots of Aussie flags, and generally speaking, coming from the north down toward Canberra, there are more cars coming. We are not done with this yet. A little bit of fresh info that I had to chuck in there.
Oh, no, we're certainly not. I mean, look, the call for 5 million people will at least resonate to a point where you'll get maybe another 1,000, maybe another 2,000. It's hard to say, but their numbers will definitely grow.
And they're going to be fucking problematic. And that's the thing, because their plan from here is just to cause shit.
And they're going to be problematic.
They're going to occupy Canberra, and they're not going to leave. And essentially the plan is to hit up Canberra Airport. That was the thing today. And just harass the politicians coming in for the sitting week. So police have set up a checkpoint to turn cars away from the airport. But let's face it, cookers are going to say, I've got a flight to catch. And the coppers will let them through. Like, it's going to be the most piss-weak roadblock ever. But, I
don't know. I would think the coppers would take that pretty seriously.
I fucking hope so.
The idea that you can just start harassing politicians in public places is pretty crazy. So I would think that they'll just go, no one's getting in the airport today, and not unless you got a flight booked and show me.
And we live in a great democracy, and I love this about this democracy. It's the same democracy we had in England before, I don't know, crazy people started stabbing MPs, where you can see pollies walking through local areas or through the domestic terminal. I've seen tons of Labor MPs, and possibly I haven't recognised some Liberal ones, in the domestic terminal, just hanging out, going to planes, going around. It's not a big deal. You don't hassle them. You don't, there's no problem. But after this, I mean, they're going to have to take the back exit because they won't be sure if some fucking cook has got a sawn off 22 waiting in the arrivals hall. And quite rightly so.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure they would have been at least briefed by their parties and possibly by parliamentary management that there are some issues and they need to be very, very careful.
But it just erodes democracy.
And then you've got people leaving the airport in cars, and are they going to be chased? Are they going to be followed? Are they going to be stalked? I mean, this stuff could get very, very crazy, and it does lead. I mean, it's just probably not the worst of the consequences of all of this, but it does lead to that disconnect between the public and politicians, which we shouldn't have.
No, we shouldn't.
It should be okay to walk up to a politician, introduce yourself, shake a hand if that seems appropriate, and start talking to them about your own circumstances. That's what politicians should be about.
Exactly. And this is one thing that I'll just say, coming from Simon again, because we're actively chatting on Facebook right now. Basically, what he's saying is that from Ourimbah, there was a small convoy of cars that have come from Brisbane. One of them had a fucking 3-year-old in the car. He reckons there's 500,000 people there. So you can see how cooked these people are. And because Simon had a chat with them. But he's a brave, intrepid wanderer who's a bit of a Hunter S. Thompson in the fucking making, to be honest. And he said basically there was another convoy headed down from far north Queensland. Now, let's face it, the guy who said there was 500,000 people there, who knows? But he just struck up a conversation with another dad in an area because the kids were playing when they're having a bit of a road stop, and he just started frothing about this convoy to him. Man, there's some fucking cooked people coming. It's not over yet.
Yeah,
it is not over.
Can we also make the point? Don't bring your dogs.
Don't bring your dogs.
Your kids.
Don't bring your kids.
Your dogs are going to be scared. Your kids it's just not appropriate for them to be there. Everyone's pissing and shitting all over the fucking place. It's not a very good place for children. Seriously, those ones who bought little children in particular, preschool children, they should all be doxxed. They should all, I don't mean DOX, they should all be referred to the Department of Community Services.
It's facts now.
Have a bloody good look at how they're parenting.
Yeah, no, it's fucking disgusting. So basically, when it comes down to it, the occupation is going to continue, and clearly people are still coming down. I just had someone literally tell me that on Facebook. The idea that they're going to be in charge soon is what's carrying this whole movement, and the eventual plan is to just take over the government. You know, they don't mince their words on this. They say it openly. They say it online. They say it in person. They say it on the ground. The cops don't seem to give a fuck. Apparently sedition is not a big deal anymore. But this does seem like a very volatile week ahead. I do hope the next segment's shorter, but the peaceful protest movement is looking more and more unhinged as we go, and I think some very cooked individuals are coming their way, as we just learned. But the cops have learned nothing from January 6th. I mean, come on. Enforce the law.
Yeah, look, if Ricardo's anybody to be believed, if there's not 5 million there by Tuesday, it's all off. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes numbers-wise, but they are not very good with numbers. Ricardo's not great with maths himself, so he might look out across 4,000 or 5,000 people and go, well, yeah, that's about 5 million.
That's exactly what he's going to fucking do. Exactly what he's going to do.
And then off we go to Parliament and the hanging start, you know. And now we bring you a brand new segment of people who have learned absolutely everything they read in a quick flick through a textbook of 17th century maritime law. They're soft-sets, and they're on a collision course with reality and a concept totally bizarre to them. Consequence. In this week's Soft-Sets, the man.
We fired you. We sacked you. We dismissed you as what? As garbage, because that's all you are. You're a criminal. You're a traitor. And you're going to the biggest barbecue in history. So from Christmas dinner to you are the dinner.
Thank you. That's what I'll go with.
And with free men under attack everywhere across the nation, we turn to Soft-Sit stronghold Western Australia's wheat belt for this report.
3 people have been ordered to pay more than $27,000 in fines and compensation after damaging a Western Australian heritage building during a sit-in to assert a sovereign state in June 2020. The group, claiming to be there on behalf of the government of New Westralia, there's a New Westralia, broke into the National Trust Heritage Courthouse Museum in the wheatbelt town of York, smashing the door in with an axe, Jack Nicholson style from The Shining. And these idiots also live-streamed their crimes to the world. They brought a bucket to piss and shit in, which is better than... a bit better planning than the Canberra convoy.
At least they thought it out.
And drilled holes in the stone walls of the heritage building to place their New Westralia insignia. They also raised the red ensign. Hooray! Wade William Guerin, 32, pleaded not guilty to trespass and damage at the Northern Magistrates Court trial on Thursday. Well, of course he did. But the magistrate needed only to have a look at the live these fuckwits produced to see the guilty plea was a bit of, or not guilty plea, was a bit of a stretch.
Yes.
The live showed William David Atherton as a self-appointed magistrate holding a Bible and shouting, "Open the doors in the name of the law." And the Bishop of Rome has no jurisdiction in this here realm of England.
Oh, no.
The incident triggered the building's alarm and police attended. Guerin was a recent convert to soft-sit nonsense. He told Magistrate Donna Webb he had arrived in Australia about 4 months earlier and was working on farms for accommodation as the pandemic struck.
Oh, no.
He said Mr. Atherton arrived on the farm, approached him and gave a speech about the government of New Australia, which was a Christian nation. It all sounded legitimate. Said, that sounds right. Yeah. He said there were a few things we needed to do, and one was reclaim the York courthouse. I believe I was genuinely, honestly doing the right thing. I thought this was a genuine government.
You're genuinely stupid. That's what you are.
He's a bit stupid. He may have some issues with English speaking. I don't know. But look, he's just been snapped up into the cult. And he said, with regret, looking back, I wish I had done more investigation.
Do your research.
Done a bit more research.
Do your research.
Police body-worn camera footage played at the trial shows a local police sergeant speaking to Mr. Atherton, who tells the officer to return to barracks and surrender your firearms.
Yeah, all right.
Following the event, Mr. Atherton, 54, spent 2 months in custody before being found unfit to stand trial.
Oh, wow. That's quite something.
Oh, dear.
That's really hard to get, too.
Mary Frances Mount, 64, and Gary Thomas Hutton, 69, did not front court for their trial, but were each found guilty of trespass and damage in their absence. Didn't front. Ms. Mount was also convicted of obstructing police during her arrest nearby after she left the old courthouse to buy food.
Get a battered salve.
A couple of dimmies. A couple of dimmies and a sausage roll.
She was hungry.
He said the actions were the result of a fantasy. This is the copper. And commands to police came from an imaginary magistrate who called himself Pumphrey. And that is Mr. Atherton. Anyway, Magistrate Webb fined Mr. Guerin $5,000. Mr. Hutton was fined $5,500, and Ms. Mount was ordered to pay $6,000.
They don't have that money.
Magistrate Webb ordered the group's New Westralia banners and flags be forfeited. The trio were also ordered to pay $10,500 between them for the cost of the damage to the National Trust building. Yes, you fuckers, do that. I know that building, by the way. I've seen it. It's a lovely old thing in sandstone. Anyway, Mr. Atherton was not in court because he's been locked away in a psych ward and will not have to pay for the damage because he's as mad as a shithouse rat. So there you go. In this week's Sovsits v. the Man, Sovsits 0, the Man 1.
I imagine the man's going to keep escalating and Sovsit's going to stay around 0.
Return to barracks. And while we're keeping score, let's get a huge 7 on the board for Craggy Pete Evans. He's been at it again. 7 days of utter hugeness, and
Big
Joel's
week.
here to tell you all about it in the week in Pete Evans.
It has been a huge week in Pete Evans with the disgraced, craggy-faced former pizza cook continuing his completely unhinged posting streak. I mean, he's absolutely on fire. 233
That's
posts
huge.
since last
That's
week
a
on his
huge,
Telegram.
huge week.
That is a lot, even for a guy with no job. I mean, come on, man. That's a lot. So Pete's been a very busy boy following the Canadian Freedom Convoy and posting terrible memes about Justin Trudeau and generally just showing himself to be the 4chan shitpost we know and love. Because Pete just loves awful memes. And once again, Pete does not show any reverence towards Australians, has not mentioned Canberra a fucking moment because the only thing he cares about is North America. He's a turncoat and everyone should know that.
I'm Australian.
One of the most recent mindless shares was this great little ditty. So if you think fake news is bad, wait till you hear about fake history and science.
German history?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
the German history's a bit fake?
Oh, yeah. It's not popular. Don't do the Holocaust denial thing. No one likes your Europa shtick.
No, don't do that, Pete.
No one
Please don't do that.
Do you know what happened last time you put the uniform on? Everyone fucking told you that's a bad idea, and now we can't read your books anymore. And I know you don't think you have much left to lose, but I assure you, you still have so much left to lose.
Haven't hit bottom yet, Pete.
And while the Nazi dollar does seem appealing, Nazis don't actually like you. Despite being a nice Aryan boy with good politics and blue eyes, you're also an annoying hippie, and they fucking hate hippies. Nazis hate
Ooh, yeah.
hippies. So stop trying to get into bed with Nazis. Come on, Pete. I'm just looking out for you here, man. He also posted a meme that gave me the absolute shit. This is something close to my heart because he posted a picture of Chris Farley playing Matt Foley, the character on Saturday Night Live, the motivational speaker who's famous for screaming those bizarre motivational platitudes at
it's
children.
a great bit. I used to love Chris Farley. God love him.
He's brilliant. I hate that he's being appropriated for right-wing memes. And the thing is, like, you do not want to end up like him in a van down by the river. So the text on the fucking meme is, for the love of God, stop getting tested. And he said, for the love of God, a lot. And it was great. But, like, look, I'm sorry, but no, this sums up the entire fucking thing. Pete's posting this because we're in the midst of a pandemic. People are dying. They are. It's not a conspiracy theory. People are dying. And sure, most of us get COVID and are fine. That's great. It would suck if it was Ebola where everyone fucking bled out of their eyeballs. But rebelling against testing is not some sort of edgy stand against power. It's a middle finger to the people around you. People with diabetes or immunocompromised situations. You just don't know. It's a pizza playground. And he's bizarrely proud of it. And he's showing that right now by fucking appropriating Chris Farley to push his nonsense agenda.
You leave Chris Farley out of it, Pete.
Man, I remember when people used to hide the fact they were selfish shitheads. And now, thanks to the fucking freedom movement, being a selfish shithead is a badge of honor. The more self-centered you are, the more awake you are. Like, do you get... Because I don't get it. Like, Chris Farley wouldn't like you, Pete. Chris was a fucking great guy. And if Chris was still with us today, he would actually have a little bit to worry about with COVID because he was a big boy. Of course, would just call that a comorbidity and dismiss him like the fucked up eugenicist that you are. Do not bring Chris Farley into this, you dickhead. He is better than you. So Pete, for the love of God, stop posting. It's not helping anyone. Yes, you're peeled. We fucking get it. But the stuff you share is absolute trash. We've been through this a million times, Pete. God, I've been reporting on you for way too long. There was that little brief period of time where you stopped posting and it was a fucking treasure. It was like the end of Good Will Hunting where like Matt Damon isn't out the front anymore and Ben Affleck's like, you got it. You've gone. You've left. You left Boston. I thought you made it, Pete. I thought you changed. But you're worse than fucking ever. Not only is your life full of humorless fear porn, but you want others to suffer with you. Misery loves company, huh, Pete? Yeah, well, actually, that's not a good philosophy. You're not awake, you're a wanker. You turn from a beloved public figure into a reviled Nazi fuckwit. Take the hint, Pete. Fade into obscurity. You're not relevant anymore. No one actually cares what you have to say. Your shit memes are exactly that. You just share them from David Avocado Wolf. The political space has never been a good one for you. You didn't even fucking run when you made so much fucking noise about it because you're simply too stupid to understand the concept. It's not for you, Pete. So stop posting. Do what you do best. Cook elaborate meals that people can't afford with outrageous and baseless health claims attached to them. Come on, Pete, do that. Do that instead. Guilt people into spending 50% of their salary on grass-fed salmon. That's your thing.
That is his thing.
Stick to your lane. Do that.
Yeah, no, there's good career advice there. And you have been listening to the Conditional Release Program with your host, Jack the Insider and Joel Hill. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And if you've enjoyed our bullshit, throw us a 5-star review on your podcast app.
Jack can be found on Twitter on @JackTheInsider and Joel on @CrunchyMoses with a K. We set up a Facebook page you can find fairly easily. And look, promoting a podcast is easier said than done. Please share the episodes, get it out there because it just helps everyone.
Yeah, saw a few of those. A few of those this week. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
Listeners.
We appreciate it.
We do really appreciate it. And the Patreon is up and running, and we ask listeners to consider throwing a few dollars our way.
For as little as $5 a month, you'll have access to all sorts of bonus content. And if you give us enough money, you can watch us record the show. But if we get to 1,000 patrons, we do promise, solemnly promise, that we will buy a Conditional Release Program car, rip out the spare tire, and use it as a toilet in solidarity with the freedom fighters down in Canberra. We stand with you, we squat with you, and someone just passed me the tire pump because I can't find any shit tickets in here. Where are they?
You can come and shit in our boot if you pay us enough money. So join up at patreon.com/the Conditional Release Program. And finally, all feedback, tips and death threats should be sent to the Conditional Release Program @gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, even if it's to insist that we present the deeds and titles. What deeds and titles? I don't know. Just the deeds and titles.
Deeds and titles. Deeds and titles. Just deeds and titles. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, listeners. See ya.
See you next time.